let's say you're like me, let's say you're a YouTuber and you're looking to get a new vehicle. Whatever you could do, make sure that vehicle can also be used to make you money outside of YouTube. Another thing that you can do to build wealth is learn a trade or learn a skill. I don't know if you guys can see there, I'm giving this guy free promotion. I made the investment to go get this, and now instead of getting $3,000 for a photo shoot, I can now charge like $5,000, maybe even $6,000, because now I can offer.
Yeah, there's love, there's hate, lies and games, faith.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to show you how to build wealth in a slow economy, or as we're in today, as in a slowing economy. So the first things that I'm going to tell you that I've learned myself just through living life is that sometimes you could be hung up on your bread and butter, what you do normally to make money, and you can kind of stagnate because you're not thinking outside the box. You're just doing what you know works, and you're not thinking about other revenue streams or other things you can do to generate income. And that may, like I said, kind of make you stagnant, to where if the economy slows and your regular way of doing business like slows down or stops, you could be in a rough position. And that was something that almost happened to me, where like I made my bread and butter was doing still photography, where I would do portraits, family portraits, engagements, weddings, and every now and then events, but the camera I have did not lend towards doing events. It's not a very fast camera. It's not, the autofocus wasn't great for like doing anything like sports or event type photography. And that limited me in a sense, but I was so good at what I did doing, portrait photography, whether it be like headshots, model portfolios, family portraits and things like that. And I'll show you. So for those of you guys that have been paying attention to the channel recently, you'll see like this has been my bread and butter, my Pentax K1 Mark II. And this is a full frame camera. It's great for doing portraits. Not so great. It doesn't have the best autofocus, so it's not that great for doing things where the subjects are moving fast. But if you're still, it's great, and it takes great pictures. And I'll put up some of the example photos right here. As you can see, this shoots amazing, amazing photos. So this was my bread and butter, but as the economy slowed down, there was less people willing to pay money to do family portraits, probably less engagements, less weddings, things of that nature. So I started thinking, I was like, okay, I need to kind of get outside of my zone, because there's always a hope that YouTube is going to blow up, but you know, in a slower economy, YouTube is not paying as much as it normally does either. You know, I'm guessing there's not that many people paying for ads, etc., etc. So YouTube money has slowed down. My bread and butter has slowed down, and it forced me to kind of think outside the box. And now I have to think like, okay, what can I do to increase my income within my field? Just within my field, right? So I was like, this is not going to cut it. As much as I love this camera, it's not going to cut it. I need to get a hybrid camera. I need to get something where I can expand into doing both video as well as doing action type shots, where now I can do more event photography. I can do more sport events. I can do, like when people have galas and stuff like that, I can do both video and photography. And that expands my, well, it almost doubles it, because for example, let's say normally I would do a wedding photography wise for like $2,000, $3,000. You know, let's say I'll do a wedding for that much, give them the best portraits and photos they can ask for with this camera. Now, I'll show you the investment that I made in myself. I made an investment to go get a different camera that would help expand my wealth, and I'll show you that. now I got the Lumix S5 Mark II, and this is a great camera for doing both photography. So I can actually do, so it's my Pentax is a 36 megapixel full frame camera. This is a 24 megapixel full frame camera, but it's an amazing video camera as well. So I made the investment to go get this, and now instead of getting $3,000 for a photo shoot, I can now charge like $5,000, maybe even $6,000, because now I can offer both photo and video. So I can use my other camera to shoot the stills while using this to do the videography and give them a twofold package. And now it opens me up to more jobs. Now I can do more video jobs. I can do real estate photo shoots. I can do videography for both real estate, for designers. I can do, it just opens up so much more just by making that switch, just from thinking out of the box and changing my mindset. So that's just one way. Now let's get into a couple more ways. All right, so here's part 2 of what you can do. So let's say, you know, even within my field, let's say photography, videography, none of that is doing well, nothing is making money. But as you can see, I have my 2824 S650 Mustang GT, and I got my 2012 Tacoma X-Runner here, right? So I have 2 cars. I really only need one, but what I would do and like I said, all of this requires you being able to roll your sleeves up, get to work, change your mindset, and you have to kind of also get rid of your pride. Never let your pride keep you from doing what you need to do to survive and to thrive. So the next thing that I would do is I would trade in this Mustang, and I would go get a black Mazda CX-90, and there's a reason for that. I would use that to go do Uber. I would do black Uber, you know, where you get paid a little bit more, and I would take it to Orlando, I would take it to Tampa, I would take it wherever I need to do to start averaging at least $1,000 a week, and that would be one thing that I would do to generate income consistently. And the reason why I said the Mazda CX-9 because I know it could fit in this garage, and I would get the hybrid because it'd be great on gas. So I'm saving money, I'm making money, and I have something reliable that could fit in my garage. So that's something that I would do, and that's something, like I say, I'll tell you guys to think outside the box. Now there's also other apps and things that I can utilize my truck for, where I can go work with Home Depot, work with UPS to pick up big objects, you know, and throw them in the back of the truck, do deliveries that way, make money with that. So there's always different things that you can do to kind of supplement, or if you're in dire straits and you just need to make income, you got to think outside the box, you got to roll up your sleeves, and you got to be ready and willing to get to work and put aside your pride. So those are other things. Now I'm going to take the truck out, and I'll finish this video using my Lumix. You guys tell me how you like the footage, and so I'll take that outside. We'll finish up some of the other things you can do to build wealth in a slowing economy. So let's go. All right, so another thing you can do to build wealth in a slowing or even a slowed down or crumbling economy is to cut down on your expenses. So one of the things I'm doing right now is returning the things that I bought recently that I no longer need or didn't really need to begin with. So I bought this bag and for my camera equipment, and then I realized I had another bag, an older bag that actually fits my equipment better because this one's a little bit too small. So I'm taking this back, returning it, I'm gonna get the money back, goes back onto my credit card. So that's saving a little bit. Another thing is, well, I did this earlier in the year, so I was paying like a little bit more for the Honda Civic Type R that I had, and I decided to go get this truck because for me it's more useful to have a truck. Plus I've always wanted to, you know, I've always had X-Runners before and I missed them, and I really wanted to get a 2012 to 2015. I found this 2012 with very low mileage. Since I've had it, I think I only put on 1,000 miles, so I'm at 34,000 miles right now. This saves me a lot of money a month compared to the Type R. Plus the maintenance on it is way lower, and it's so much more reliable, and it's also investment because it's so rare. It actually has been appreciating in value. So, you know, that's one of the other moves that I've made. And just doing things that you can to cut down on your expenses and increase your revenue, you know. So returning this and, you know, got the new camera, going to be using that to increase my revenue. And like I said, it might be a couple other things I might do, but when I get to, because I got to go return this, when I get to the spot where I'm returning this, I'll go ahead and I'll continue letting you guys know what you can do in a slow down economy or stagnant economy where people aren't spending money as much, but you still need to increase your wealth. I'll go over that in a little bit, so hold on. So another thing that you can do to build wealth is learn a trade or learn a skill. I don't know if you guys can see there, I'm giving this guy free promotion, that one Tom plumber. You see how big that truck is? They're always gonna be like, there's always gonna be business for a plumber. There's always gonna be need for a plumber. So if you learn a skill like that, let's say you learn to be a plumber or you learn to be an electrician, these are necessities. Like, life needs these people, you know? So you need people with those skill sets. And if you're the person that can get a skill set like this, then you're gonna be in demand and you'll always be able to make money. So we just went over what it's like when you do that mentality shift and you start picking up, basically going outside of your field of expertise, right? So you go and you get educated and you pick up a new skill set, something that can make you a lot of money in a downturn economy. So one of the other things that I'm going to say too is this mentality. So if we have the ability to switch our mentalities and step out of our comfort zones, this mentality can also benefit the entire United States, I would say. So let's say the United States itself decided to change its mentality and go from the way how we do business now and the way we think now, and we decided to say, all right, the government's first priority is to essentially eradicate poverty, because that's essentially what China did a long time ago. China said, I remember hearing them talk about it on the news back in like 2008, 2009. Their goal was to basically get rid of poverty, and that's essentially what they did. And they provided training for the majority of their population. They provided training for the majority of their population and started really educating them and getting them into the type of jobs they needed to move their country forward. And I think that's also something that the U.S. would need to do, is literally change our way of thinking. And because I think what cripples the U.S. is their form of classism, racism, basically having it to where there's only one group of ruling class, one group of people that should have everything, and other people should not have. And that's what cripples and slows down the U.S. from really being all that it could be, is because we're in such the human population, or just like life in general, there's so much synergy or symbiosis where we're all connected, we're all interconnected. So if something bad is happening to one group of people, then it could potentially and it will eventually happen to you. So the idea or the true ideology should be for everyone to do well. I think if we adopt the mindset, and that's something that we can do as individuals, because, like, for example, let's say you have a job, let's say you become a police officer or something, and for whatever reason you're mad at a certain group of people, so you keep falsely arresting or doing things to hurt people that you don't like just because they're different from you or something like that. You don't know. You might arrest or imprison or get rid of somebody that could potentially be the person that would save the whole world. They may invent something, they may do something that may help your children thrive and progress. And that's something that I feel that a lot of people don't consider. So not only should you individually change your mindset, I believe the whole country of the United States should change their mindset, and that will help people flourish and stop us from re-entering slow down economies, So that being said, so let's say you've mastered the ability of changing your mindset, changing the way you see the world, and doing things in a way that will benefit you and your family. You have that down. The next thing you have to do is really build your body up to work. So I would advise all of you, if you don't do it already, to wake up early in the morning, eat something healthy, put good food in your body, and start walking or getting in some exercise, hit the gym or something like that, so that you can increase your energy and be able to increase your work output. And then that should allow you to get you some good sleep as well. And when you get some good sleep, you have good food in your system, your mindset is right, you now know there's opportunities, extra things you can do to build your wealth. All of these things contribute into you building your wealth and being almost recession proof, because if you have the right mindset, if your body is willing, ready, and able, then there's really nothing that can stop you, you know? And that's like my get to. Hopefully this video does over a couple million or billion views, and my goal is not, well, it would be great to make the money. My goal is to reach enough people to where we can literally start changing the world for the better. And I hate to see people struggling and not doing well. So I'm hoping that this video is going to help people re-energize their lives and start doing things that's going to benefit them, and everyone could start living better, healthier, happier lives. And the truth is that once people are healthy, happy, and have money, there's going to be less crime. You know, police officers are going to be less at risk. Homeowners and business owners are going to be less at risk, and business owners will start making more money, because when people have more disposable income and they're happy, they're going to go out, they're going to spend, and everything gets better. So hopefully this video reaches a lot of people and it has a positive impact. But yeah, man, that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and with that, race car friends out. Keeping with the spirit of building wealth in a slowing or slow economy, this is some advice I have for you guys. So let's say you're like me. Let's say you're a YouTuber and you're looking to get a new vehicle. Whatever you can do, make sure that vehicle can also be used to make you money outside of YouTube. So I would not opt to go get something like this 6th gen Camaro, even though it's fun and that's like what everybody really wants, and it might do more views and stuff on YouTube. I opted to go get the Toyota Tacoma X-Runner, very, very rare vehicle. And once I start throwing power at it and doing like fun videos with it, you guys will see how much fun it is content-wise. But I can also use it to do another thing. Go get groceries at places like Sam's Club, where you can buy in bulk and fill up the trunk, not the trunk, the bed with everything that I need here. And that's just another way. So let's say I need to go get furniture. Like I'm going to be helping my guy, Will Motivation. Shout out to Will Motivation. Shout out to Blueprint Wanna Lead, 100 Grand Nate, Race Car 21. Shout out to Speed Demon, Fast Life, Kappa for Life, Dr. Robert, and everybody that rocks with us. Shout out to all you guys. I'm not sure. Did I say QDKRH, Blueprint Wanna Lead, 100 Grand Nate? I'll say it again. And Race Car 21. I'll say it again. Y'all get double. But yeah, it's one of the best things that you can do is get you a truck like this, because if you need to move things, if you need to be able to pick up big bulky items like a generator or furniture or anything like that, you can do it yourself. You don't need to pay somebody to borrow a truck or go get a UPS truck or something like that, and you can also make money in the process.